there, everybody. This is The Advocates with Dan Cirucci on RVNTV.tv. It's great to welcome you back today. And today our program, and we do have an advocate. He's an advocate for laughter and humor and comedy, because the show today is sort of all about comedy, but not quite. Now, I don't even know how to introduce him because he's got multiple personas. He's a South Jersey guy. He's a dentist. If you're fearful of the dentist, don't be fearful today. He's a comedian and a street comedian and a stand-up comedian, and he's also a country music singer, Jimmie Lee.
I forgot that one.
Jimmy, how are you?
Good, thank you for having me.
It's great to
I forgot
have
about
you.
the country singer. It's been a while.
Your full persona today.
Yes, Joey made me wear the glasses.
Our friend Joey, we have a mutual friend, Joey Del Palazzo.
Joey Del Palazzo,
who's a
yep.
world-famous photographer.
He's a great photographer. He just has to learn to take the lens cap off. All my pictures, Dan, are coming out dark.
Oh, Joey.
Jess said
my
all your
God.
pictures are dark. What's that? He didn't take the lens cap off. He's getting the hang of it now.
Finally?
Yeah, he's
Well, maybe if he
focusing.
makes
He's
it-
focusing on his job now.
Well, I mean, if he hasn't learned by now, Jim, I don't know what's going to
You
happen.
tell him I need him to do pictures
So-
Friday night. You tell him that. I don't want him not to show.
Oh, you have a gig
Yeah,
coming up with him?
Yeah, but I don't want to tell him that because then he doesn't
Well, I
show up.
will try. I will try to tell him if I can reach him. You know, he can be hard to reach.
He is.
But now, Jim, I mean, I don't understand this. It's a little confusing to me. You're a dentist. Now, I have never met many funny dentists. I mean, what is it with you being a dentist and a comedian?
Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a star. So I grew up down in Atlantic City. When I was young, they had a place called the 500 Club.
Yes.
And
I
my
remember
mom's
it.
dad, Max Nippon, was very close with Skinny D'Amato. We went to all these shows. I was a little kid, and I got a showbiz bug, and never left me. So as I got
Skinny
older,
had some interesting connections, though.
Skinny was a little mob related.
Yes.
Had a poker room in the back. I remember as a little kid, and you had to do it his way.
People didn't go to Atlantic City to behave, Jim.
No, they still don't today. Exactly. But that's where I got the bug, and it kind of never left me. And as I become an adult, I'm a dentist with a successful DSO company with 4 locations. And
I know. What's the name of your dental outfit?
Primadent.
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 Primadent, yeah.
How'd you come up with the name?
Well, when we started the business, we had to brand a name, a parent name, so I had to come up with a name. So I came up with that name 18 years ago.
You came up with it yourself.
Yeah, I came up with it.
You're a very creative person. You have a very nimble mind, Jim.
Oh, thank you. I work a lot of hours, that's all. I'm a hard
I read
worker.
that you actually work 80 hours a week.
Every week.
Well, when do you sleep?
I do sleep good because I'm tired at the end of the day.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I work a lot of hours.
You're incredibly focused.
Very focused, and I think one reason for the success is the focal point and the sustained amount of time I can focus, whether I'm doing dentistry, managing, writing jokes, studying, doing street comedy. It's a big focus that allows you to be as successful as you are.
But let me say, Jim, I wouldn't want to be under the care of a dentist who was not focused, okay?
Most people are focused, but not for a long period of time. They're not going to work the hours I do, and they don't have discipline.
Well, and when you're actually working on somebody as a dentist, I mean, that requires tremendous focus.
Yes.
Is it,
What?
I don't know if I should ask you this. I mean, do ideas for comedy come to you when you're working as a dentist?
Generally, it's hard to be creative when you're being a business administrator and a dentist.
Okay.
So a lot of it comes to me when I'm traveling on vacations and when I'm home weekends. I'm more creative when I'm not focused on the business as much. But it's hard to be creative when you're a business person. It's 2 totally different jobs. Two totally different jobs.
That's what I can't understand. I mean, these are 2 separate
180s.
They're
Exactly.
2 separate
Entities.
parts of the brain. 2
Exactly,
separate
right.
left zone and right zone of the brain. I mean, usually a person is good on
one or the other.
side or the other.
Yeah.
Did you always have this capacity?
I, even as a kid, was an overachiever, even in school, and I kind of knew there was something there, but when you're young, you don't know what it is. You actually, when you're young, think you're weird and you're different because people don't get you. That's kind of how I felt as a kid.
So you
not that I don't fit in because I was popular and all that, but I mean, I was different than kids. I just was different. I was playing the piano at 10. I was studying
I saw
more.
that you taught yourself how to play the piano and the guitar. You taught yourself.
Taught myself. But I did have piano lessons, but I could sit at a piano, Dan, with no sheet music. And I have every song by heart memorized. I don't even need sheet music. I'm a savant with my memory. That's why I can go on the street and do these jokes and memorize them. I just have a photographic memory. That's a gift, kind of. My oldest son actually has that.
You've written songs?
I wrote songs. I opened up when I was a country rock artist for George Thorogood, ZZ Top, and the Kentucky Headhunters back about 8 to 10 years ago at the House of Blues, and had a band. I had a Grammy music producer, David Ivory, out of Philly, but I stopped that in 2013 to try comedy. I think comedy is a little more suited for me, to be honest, based on my personality.
Well, you're so...
I'm so wiry and up
manic,
and manicky, yeah. And that's why the comedy's better. Exactly.
You know, I have to
I'm
explain,
up, like that song Shania Twain sings. Up!
I have to explain why you're wearing these dark glasses.
I have
it's
to.
part of your persona as Jimmie Lee.
Yeah, I have to keep these
not
on.
because you have a problem with your eyes or anything.
No. My eyes are fine. It's my personality I have a problem with.
Okay.
I'm bipolar.
You are?
I have sex twice a year.
I thought for seriously that he was serious.
Oh, I messed the joke up. I'm bisexual. I have sex twice a year.
That too. All right. Well,
sorry, guys, I messed that joke up.
Well, you know, all of these things. You're bisexual. That's sort of
try
like
to throw a joke in there.
That's sort of like chic now, anyway. All right.
My brother's trisexual, Dan. He'll try anything.
Okay.
Oh, he's another story.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you do street comedy, and tell us about where we can find you on the internet, Jim.
Okay, so we do street comedy all over the country. The TV show is called Dangerously Funny.
Dangerously Funny.
We built a big YouTube channel that's up to almost 100,000 subscribers and about over 4 million views.
Oh my God, so just go to YouTube.
Jimmie Lee, the Jersey Outlaw. You Google that. Jimmie Lee, the Jersey Outlaw, and you'll find the YouTube channel. And you can watch all the videos.
How long has that been up?
That's been up since 2014, maybe 4 or 5 years. And it built slow, but all of a sudden it snowballed and started in the last maybe year really building views.
Now, Jim, I saw you on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. I looked for some of these videos.
Right.
By the way, folks, take a look at some of these videos because they are unbelievable. And street comedy is a whole separate thing. And I saw you on the boardwalk, and you approach people, total strangers. These are total strangers.
Correct.
And you're saying some pretty edgy things to them. I mean, things that people could consider insulting. We live in a time of political correctness. Jim, how do you get away with this?
I think they see there's a crew and there's models or security people and they know you're having fun. But I do insult style humor. So anybody politically correct watching this, maybe don't watch my reel. But it's a little bit of a Don Rickles on the street. Don Rickles was an insult style comic who I grew up with. And I combined some elements of Rodney Dangerfield, who did a lot of one-liners.
Right.
And I put a little Jersey attitude in and a little modern twist. And here I am.
Yeah, you were also inspired by Red Fox.
Red Fox, who was Sanford and Son. They're my 3 favorite comics. Rickles, Dangerfield. Red Fox was phenomenal. Back in the day, he was XXX. Today, he'd be PG.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but still...
He was historical, Red Fox.
No, you have... in some of these videos, you have these 2 guys with you who they look like security guys almost, okay? And then you have this bevy of beautiful gals.
Yes.
Where did they come from?
They're the Bandito girls. They're
Bandito girls.
They're branded with Jimmie Lee, the Jersey Outlaw. And recently now we're working with security people.
Oh.
For obvious reasons.
Oh, actual security people.
Real security guards, yeah.
Oh, my
From New York. CJ and Matt. They do all my reels now.
Oh, I see. Have you ever had a situation when you're coming upon these people with this street humor where you felt threatened or in danger?
A couple times people they take it the wrong way, so we'll disengage and we'll move on. And if there's any problems, the security guys handle that.
Okay, okay.
That's
But
the
you
answer.
don't-
I would say
you're not-
most of the time no, because if somebody's not interested, they tell you, and you're not going to
Right.
push the envelope, because then Miss America wouldn't know who won. You don't want to push the envelope.
Now, you've
It's another bad joke,
You
folks.
have performed in Atlantic City,
Yes.
in Vegas,
Vegas, California,
New York,
New York, Florida.
and now here's something I've been wanting to ask you. They say that a lot of humor comes from pain, okay? That for many comedians, this was a way for them to work out their pain.
Okay.
Was that, did you ever, that
I don't
the case
think
in
that's,
your case?
no, I was
in your
always
case?
as a kid, the funny kid in the class.
I know you said that you
I
were
was
the class
always, as a
clown.
kid, the class clown, they're always the guy everybody would hang with to get laughs. I was doing this as a kid. So I think what I'm doing now is pretty much what I was just doing
So
as a kid. I don't think I even changed. I was doing this when I was 10, 12
Did you
years
give your
old.
parents a lot of trouble?
Somewhat maybe in high school, a little bit, like a rebel stage where you become a rebel
Yeah.
a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot, a bit.
So let me ask you this, did you use humor to get out of trouble?
No, I just think I liked attention. So for me to get attention, I think if I was funny, people paid attention. I think it was to be spotlight, in the spotlight. That's really the only reason. I don't have a mean bone in my body. I just like to be noticed. So I think
Okay.
entertainment's a way for me to be noticed. When I'm running my
you-
dental
you're-
business
yeah.
and company, I'm a business person. I'm real serious.
Yeah.
And I'm not noticed. I'm running a business to make money.
Okay, we're going to
So-
take a break.
Sure.
You're certainly being noticed now. Folks, we'll be right back with the Jersey Outlaw, Jimmie Lee, Jim Weiner.
Go get 'em.
Personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write. The ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me. Thanks, Liz. A woman without a lot of time.
Whether you're a gourmet cook or just want to eat like one, visit Rostelli Market Fresh, your home for the freshest, locally sourced ingredients to please everyone who loves great food. Our organic meats, quality seafood, and free-range poultry are cut fresh to order. Chefs create culinary-inspired prep foods made fresh every day, which pair nicely with our vast selection of fine wines and spirits. Choose from handmade pastas, artisan cheeses, organic produce, and grocery items, all from the finest purveyors. Rostelli Market Fresh, from our family to yours.
RVN TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality.
Hi, this is Dan Cirucci on RVN TV. This is The Advocates. Remember, you can find me anytime at dancirucci.com. dancirucci.com. We're talking with Jim Weiner, who's a dentist. He's a comedian. He's also a country music singer. Oh, yeah, we're having a great time. The word of the week is risibility. Risibility, R-I-S-I-B-I-L-I-T-Y. And Jimmy, you know it means a tendency to laugh often and easily.
I have that.
To laugh often
I have
and easily.
That. That's funny.
And how could you get through life without risibility?
You have to tell a lot of people that. When I'm doing my shtick on the street, I try to tell people that. That's funny you said it. People are too serious, too politically correct.
Do you run into people that you would consider humorless?
Yes.
Oh, God, what?
You know what I call them? Boring. She liked that.
We've got some pictures that we're going to show of Jimmy in his different persona. Let's take a look and see what. Wait, I only wish that when I go to Atlantic City, and I go quite a bit, I never see babes like this. I don't know where
That's funny. They're models.
They're models.
Yeah, so I bring models.
Did Joey recommend them?
No, Joey, I stopped doing that with because, for obvious reasons, all the models he brought on set were dismissed. I do my own hiring for models. I hate to say that.
Joey does.
South Beach. That was probably one of our top shoots. We had press in the Miami newspaper, and we were interviewed by one of the TV stations down there. For this was done in 2016. There are three of the models we got. That's at night in front of the famous Colony Hotel where they filmed Scarface.
Yes, is that in the Art Deco area
here,
Jimmy?
That's on Ocean Avenue.
Oh, well, yes, I was down there briefly, but again, I didn't see any gals like that.
That's funny. That's funny.
How does your wife feel about this, you hanging out with these
Wait a minute, you got another one.
Bodacious babes? How does your wife feel?
Oh, all right, wait a minute. That's Las Vegas at the Boneyard Museum about 3 years ago.
I've been there.
It's the old signs. The neon old signs.
Museum.
Yep, the neon sign museum.
Folks, if you go to Las Vegas, don't miss the neon Boneyard.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's unbelievable. Well, isn't it, Jimmy?
We rented it out at the end of the day, and we had it for an hour with the models, and we did a little video there, but it was primarily for stills to promote a lot of things we do in Las Vegas.
Oh, incredible.
It is really cool. And if anybody goes to Vegas, you got to go. It's downtown. It's really cool.
Yes, it's down past the old Vegas, the old section of Vegas, yes.
Down by Fremont Street.
Yeah, and it's great to visit. And we have, that's it, we have 3 pictures.
Great.
I wanted to ask you, though, how your wife feels about this. You're hanging around with these beautiful babes, I mean.
She because she grew up in a business-style family, and she's Asian, she understands business, and that's really all this is.
Okay.
You know, the models are props, the security guys are props, and security, and we're trying to brand a product. Really, if you look at it, it's very simple.
The product is you.
The product's me as an entertainer.
You are the brand.
Correct. And then we're not branding now stand-up, we're branding street comedy to propel the late night television into comedy reality television. So you have to pick what your strong point is and focus intently on it and surround yourself with the people in the back end, on the production end, that can drive you not to do a comedy show to get paid $50 in Atlantic City, but to get on late night TV. I just had a meeting last night in New York with a producer from late night TV we're trying to get on Kimmel, Conan O'Brien, or Stern. That's where I'm at right now with this comedy.
Let me ask you, Jimmy, who are some of your favorite comedians right now?
Do you know that I'm an old school guy and I don't even like the comedy out anymore? I like the old school comedy when I was growing up in the 80s.
What's wrong with comedy now?
It's different. I don't find it funny. And
Dan,
there's something wrong with me. Do you agree with me?
I couldn't agree with you more.
I just don't find, I find Sebastian funny. And he's a comic that's big now, and I find there's another comic. Chris Rock is funny.
Okay, Chris Rock.
I really like him.
I agree with you.
But I don't find Dave Chappelle funny. I don't find a lot of comedians funny. And maybe I'm square and old school.
No.
But I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, and I grew up around Dangerfield, Rickles, Red Fox, these guys, and I was dying laughing, and they're the ones that are ingrained in my brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A funny story, my son called me, and my son is like in his 30s, and he said, Dad, you want to go to Atlantic City? And I'm wondering, gee, what's he want to go to Atlantic City with me for?
Right.
I'm saying, well, I'm like, oh,
your interests are different.
So. I'm like, why? For what?
Yeah.
And he wanted to go, this was several years back, of course, and he wanted to go see Don Rickles. I said, you want to see Don Rickles? I was just surprised he even knew who he was.
That's funny.
He said, yeah, he's going to be appearing in a Borgata. And we went down to the Borgata in the great place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What a night, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's good.
What a night.
He was the best, Rickles.
Because
he could take any situation. Yeah, well, what happened with Rickles was he lulled, and then he came back later in his life, and the younger generation, not ours, the generation under, they started to get him. So what Rickles had was not the middle ones, he had the ones our generation, and then the ones, another generation under the other one. He ended up with 2 generations, and he came back. He came back later.
Right. It was amazing, and he had a remarkable career. And this is what he said. And you're talking about passion, because he said that night, towards the end of the show, he said, "Folks, if I wasn't here with you, I'd be dead. There would be no." In other words, this was his life.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to quit till he checked out, because he said if he wasn't working, he had a passion to do this.
Right.
And that's what he was put on the earth to do.
He certainly didn't need the money at that point. He was an enormous, incredible success.
Right.
But he was still driven to do this, and you could feel, even though he was an insult comedian, you could feel the love.
But I'll tell you one thing, despite what people think, he did carry Frank Sinatra.
Is that right? No, what's the job? I give you.
He carried Frank Sinatra.
Wait, Sinatra helped him.
Sinatra hugely helped him, because he was at a place called the Slate Brothers. Sinatra walks in, he said, Frank, make yourself at home, hit someone. And Sinatra right away liked him and endorsed him. Sinatra was big when Rickles got started. That's how Rickles got a nice break.
But he was one of the few people that was able to get away with that kind of stuff with Sinatra.
That's kind of what I get away with on the street. When people know you're deep down a good guy and you're a good person, they accept what you're doing and they see it's a character, and they get that. The regular people get it. And that's what happened with Rickles, too. They know he's a good guy deep down. It was just his character.
I'm going to tell you that at the end of the program, when you talk to the audience and everything, I mean, you could really feel the love from this guy.
He talks about his mom, and he talks about his kids, and you can tell he's a good guy.
Now, you have 2 kids. Now, how do they feel about all this?
Well, wait a minute, Dan. I got 2 good-looking kids, and I got 2 ugly kids, but I don't talk about the ugly ones. So let's just talk about the good-looking ones. Because the kids go to private school, Dan, but they won't tell me where. Because it's private.
But you had 2 kids.
I got 2.
Okay. I was telling him that I thought he had 4 kids. How do they feel about this?
The older one doesn't get it, because he's very politically correct, and the younger one is funny like me, he gets it. So I got one that doesn't understand and one that does. The younger one's hysterical. He's like me. The older one's real serious. I get Dad.
Well,
when I'm traveling on trips, and I get Dad, I get that.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not
Yeah,
surprised because
yeah.
I have 2 kids and they're quite different too. They're completely different.
Yeah.
But now, Jimmy, the other night on Saturday Night Live, a comedian, I forget his name, one of these new up and coming comedians, made a joke about a war hero, an Afghanistan war hero, as I understand it, who was running for Congress in Texas, who had lost his eye in the war and wears an eye patch. And they put his picture up, and this comedian said, "Look at this guy running for Congress. He looks like somebody in a
Look at
porn
running for
movie.
Congress.
He looks
That's
like
still a bad
somebody,
joke.
yeah, but he looks like somebody in a porn movie or something like that." And they made all kinds of fun of him because he had this eye patch. What do you think of that?
Well, you can go to a point. Like I can go up to an old guy and I could say, "You looked a lot better when you were alive." And the graveyard's 2 blocks to the left, and you're the inspiration for twin beds. And I can get away with that. But someone that's deformed or is handicapped or who's a war hero, you got to know when to cross the line.
Okay.
So, you got to be a little careful
gotta
when
you
it's a
gotta
little
know.
touchy, but you got to also know.
You got to know. Well, this is a great chat.
And that's having common sense. And I think the comic
Absolutely.
did not have common sense. 'Cause
Absolutely.
as much as I kid and insult, I wouldn't go there.
I couldn't
That's
agree
having-
with
that's
you.
having a little bit of class.
And we will
Yeah.
end on that note, folks. We always end with a quote. We've been with Jimmie Lee, the Jersey Outlaw, Jim Weiner. He's also a dentist. And we're going to end with a quote from one of the famous comedians who was also a pianist, Victor Borga. You got to be pretty old to remember him, but the quote is great. And Jimmy, I think you're going to agree. Here's what he said: "Laughter is the shortest distance between 2 people." Remember that,
I like
folks,
it.
and keep laughing.
Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how